Hello, welcome back to the Perinatal Podcast, the mini episodes. I am elated and delighted to have you all back. I know most of you hopefully already heard episode 100 of the regular size sods. Regular episodes? I don't know. I'm not doing that. Mini episodes. It's fine. Um, what a treat it's been to be in this space for so long. My goodness, 100 episodes is wild. This is only episode 6 of the mini episodes, but hey, got to start somewhere. And I've been having a lot of fun. So we will jump right in. Well, I guess before I jump in, I should tell some of you this might be your very first time listening what this is. So I've asked everybody if you wouldn't mind sending in stories of parenting, focus, distraction, organization, fertility, anything that has to do that might be something that could be helpful to help you to get your story out, to help other people feel connected to you, and so on. So I am so grateful to everyone who has sent in stories. We've got tons for the ages, but also please continue to send in more and more because we will always need fresh content because we will always be here. Okay, so now let's jump in. The 10-minute tidy is the title of this one, the subject line. Our house used to feel like it was in a constant state of chaos. Laundry piles, toys everywhere, dishes in the sink. It felt overwhelming, and I never knew where to start. One evening, after stepping on yet another Lego, I decided to try something different. I told my family we're doing a 10-minute tidy. The rule was simple. We set a timer for 10 minutes, and everyone worked together to clean up as much as we could. No distractions, no complaining. Oh, someone tell me how to do that one, please. Just 10 minutes of focused effort. At first, my kids groaned, but once the timer started, they got into it. It became a race to see how much we could pick up before the buzzer went off. When the timer dinged, the living room was clear, the dishes were stacked, and the house already felt calmer. 10 minutes wasn't enough to tackle everything, but it was enough to make a noticeable difference. And knowing there was a set in time made it feel manageable for all of this. Now, the 10-minute tidy is a regular part of our routine. It's a quick, easy way to keep the chaos at bay and teach the kids that small, consistent efforts add up. I mean, I just love so much of this. This is an ongoing issue with us, especially my little one possibly being diagnosed with ADHD coming up soon, and whether or not the diagnosis is there, some of the behaviors. And it's like to tell him to go clean his room is overwhelming. And so what do we get? We get a 5-year-old sitting in his room playing with his Lego versus saying, I need you to go clean up the dinosaurs. I need you to move the stuffies into the hammock. Like those are the things that are very specific and detailed that help him to not feel so chaotic and overwhelmed. I love this idea. We talk a lot about the 5-minute rule of like, just get it started. It may not feel as overwhelming, be as overwhelming as it feels for you. Do it for 5 minutes when the timer goes off. If you have this magical energy and keep going, that's great. Ride the wave. And if not, you've started on 5 minutes. You see what you've gotten done. You see maybe some places where you can try something different and move forward. So again, I cannot say enough. Like, let me come follow your family around for a day, and see how the 10-minute rule works for you all, because it sounds really energizing. And I feel like there's a lot less disgruntled whining when it's like just 10 minutes, depending on the age. Of course, 10 minutes to some people, depending on the task, feels like an eternity. But again, sorry, I'm rambling, but I just love this one so much. I love, love, love. So okay. As a family, we always seem to forget something, whether it was a school event, soccer practice, or even just whose turn it was to walk the dog. I'd write things down, but it never seemed to help. One day, after missing yet another parent-teacher meeting, I decided to try something new, a color-coded calendar. I grabbed a big whiteboard and assigned each family member a color. I wrote down everything, appointments, practices, due dates, even family movie nights. I love that. Scheduling and yeah, sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna keep reading because I'm like, yes, I just want to like interrupt this myself reading this so many times because yes, yes, yes. And I made sure everyone could see it. At first, it felt like overkill, but within a week, the chaos started to settle. The kids loved seeing their activities in their own colors, and it became a fun ritual to update the board together every Sunday. The calendar didn't just help us stay organized, it helped us to feel like a team. We started talking more about our plans, supporting each other's commitments, and even finding moments to add in fun things like spontaneous ice cream trip after practice. It wasn't just a tool for staying on top of things, it became a way to stay connected as a family. And I love that so much. I think when we take away the ambiguous and nebulous nature of things, there's less space for that anxiety. There's less space for, have we forgotten something? We haven't forgotten anything. It's on the calendar and we can look at it and we can see. And plus, I just love a nice moment for color coding. Yeah, I love that a lot. And the last one, the subject line is the breathing balloon. So one afternoon, I was helping my youngest with her homework when they started to get frustrated. Their pencil slammed onto the table and they said, I can't do this. I felt my own frustration bubbling up, but instead of reacting, I said, let's take a balloon breath together. They looked at me like I was speaking another language, so I explained, pretend you have a big balloon in your tummy. When you breathe in, the balloon gets bigger. When you breathe out, it gets smaller. We sat there breathing together, pretending to fill and empty our imaginary balloons. After a few breaths, I saw their little shoulders relax, and they picked the pencil back up without a word. It was such a small thing, but it helped us both calm down and refocus. Now, balloon breathing is a go-to in our house. Whether someone's overwhelmed, upset, or just needs a moment to reset, we take a few balloon breaths together. It's become a simple, playful way to teach mindfulness and manage big feelings one breath at a time. I I just love anything that's like reflective like that as well. A meditative moment, not necessarily meditation. That's a big difference. I think meditation feels overwhelming to some people at times versus a meditative moment. And breathing, oxygenating those muscles, being intentional about that is such a beautiful thing. So I'm actually going to try to implement that at my house too. And it's nice to try to do it when everyone is not in a state of panic and chaos. And then that way it feels more likely to be able to use later when there are moments of panic and chaos. So I'm definitely going to use that one as well, in addition to all of the other tools that so many people have shared with us along the way. I appreciate you all so, so much. Thank you for taking the time again to write in. Please continue to write in. If you have a second, please, it would be just a moment if you could go give us a 5-star rating. The more ratings we get, the more we show up in the algorithm. Please share this with a friend, send them the link, send them to your text threads and groups. If you have another second, I'd love if you could write just like a 1-sentence review about what you enjoy in the show, along with your 5-star rating. I dislike having to have this part of the conversation, but it's so necessary in the podcast game just to keep the momentum going and keep that algorithm happy. So thank you all so much again for showing up. We'll be back next week with a new episode of the Perinatal Podcast. And be curious, not judgmental. Until then.